Alright, sounds good. So we'll start in the back. Right here is going to be, go right here.
Oh,
This is going to be where your plug-in is going to be.
okay.
So it's going to be a 50 amp right now. We have it on an adapter as of this moment, which is something that you can get, which goes from a 50 to a 30.
Okay.
And then you have an extension right there that goes right into the 30 amp and plugs it right into the outlet.
Okay.
That's only if you go somewhere and there's no 50 amp outlet. But you're getting it seasonal, right?
Right.
All right, yeah. So you probably won't have to worry about it. Colebrook has the 50 amp plug-in, so all you have to do is plug it in there. Do recommend like surge protector for them. They have surge protectors that go at the end of the cord.
Okay.
And you plug it right in. That way, in case, thunderstorms happen, and the power goes out in the whole entire camp, it's not gonna affect and burn out the cord.
Okay.
So you should be good.
Otherwise, I would need to get a different cord, I guess.
Sometimes,
sort out everything
sometimes
inside?
they burn out. So especially with the surge protector, it's gonna protect it from, and it'll give you. Sorry, take quarters. And what it also has, it has a light on it, so it'll let you know if it goes out and stuff.
Okay.
So it'll show up green when you plug it in, and it'll show up red if something happens to it, and you can check everything. But it's also going to make sure your converter's not all going to shut right off and blow fuses.
Gotcha.
So it's helpful in that case. So we recommend them to basically everyone.
Gotcha.
But it's something to have. Slide out seals. You always want to check on these, especially keeping it out for so long. Just because water gets onto them or something happens, they rip if you bring them in and out. So you always want to protect them and watch them. I recommend to people every season,
Yeah.
they make lube spray for the slide out seals, and all you do is spray it right there, up and down.
Okay.
So that way it'll lubricate the seals so it doesn't get all bunged up and stuff. It'll keep it running smooth.
Okay.
And these are going to
So it only needs to be done once every season?
Yeah, I would do it once every season.
Okay.
That way, just in case the winter comes, it doesn't seal up and get all with the water and stuff. We replace. That happens. It rips, which is very few times, unless you're opening in and out a ton of times, or you rip it on something, gets caught somewhere. But usually they don't happen.
Gotcha.
These are going to be. This is your slide motor, basically. So your motor is going to be inside. I'll show you when we go in. But this is, you want to make sure it's always tight when it's out all the way.
Right.
Because if not, it'll have to be retightened, which is the easy thing. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes you have to remove part of the fascia on the slide out to get to it. You always want to make sure these are tight.
How do you tighten them?
So inside, right in here, there's screws.
Okay.
That all it is, you just tighten the screws basically.
Okay.
It's not
just
really
come out
that
and check
bad.
to make sure it's still okay.
Yeah, but sometimes in tight quarters, you can't really get in there with anything. So you have to pull that slide out fascia out and then tighten.
Wait, say that one more time?
So sometimes you can't get into there
Right.
all the time because it's tight quarters.
Yeah.
So you would have to pull half the slide out fascia off, which I'll show you in there.
Right.
And that's how you'll be able to get to the screws in there.
Okay.
But it shouldn't happen, like I said, unless running in and out and something gets stretched.
Gotcha.
But you should be good.
So I guess like if I was sliding it out and I just kept pushing the button, like so it kept sliding out too much,
Well, just in and out. Like, so if you were like
back and forth.
yeah, if you were opening and closing them like the slide out all the time, like every probably 3 times a day, then it can get some use and it'll stretch out after some time.
Gotcha.
I've seen them on 2018s. They'll stretch out a little bit. Not all the time. It just happens. So it's always something you just want to watch out. You just want to make sure they're tight when you go outside of it.
Gotcha.
But other than that, shouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
And if something did happen, just call us. And we could walk you through it again too.
Okay.
Or if you don't want to do it yourself, one of us can come up there and tighten them up for you.
Got it.
We'll bring you around right here. you want to hook up satellite or cable, your cord's gonna be right here.
Okay.
You'll have your other outlet for your cable,
Got it.
and then hopefully you won't.
So this
have
is for the outside TV?
You can hook up an outside TV out here. This
Gotcha.
is also something you can hook up your satellite, run a wire from up top, like,
Okay.
and bring it down to here, and then hook it up right there.
Gotcha.
There's also another one. That's
Oh, this
on
is how the
outside.
this is how the cable from the outside comes
Yeah.
in, even for the TV inside.
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Right now you have Air TV,
Mm-hmm.
which is from the antenna.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to get like certain channels and stuff. But if you want to hook up cable, that's one of the hookups right there.
Got it.
And there's going to be another one on the side too. We'll bring it around, show you.
All right.
Spare tire. Hopefully you don't have to use it, especially if you get seasonal. So, but that's going to be right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be your regular normal size tires, same as these ones. Ladder. Up
Gee, I
to-
wonder what that's for.
Yeah. Up top, it has, you're going to have your 2 solar panels up there.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have your covers, your vents. Around all of that is caulk sealant, which is self-leveling. So it doesn't, once you put it on, it's not going to trip and fall unless it gets wet
Okay.
right after you put it on. Recommend checking it every season. You can go up there and look at it and just make sure the seals aren't cracking, or there's no gaps, or anything.
All right.
Because that is the way that water can get through.
All right. Should I take a look at that so I know what you're talking about?
Yeah, you want to go up there, you can.
All right. Hold on a second. Let me
Yeah.
just put this here.
I can get you a different ladder too if you want.
Is this the one I'm going to be using?
Yeah, most likely.
Might as
yes.
well. All right. Here, hold this for a minute.
Yep. Yeah, watch your head right up there.
Okay. All right. Now, what was the thing you were talking about?
So the sealant, you see the
white
seal?
thing?
Yep, that's
Okay.
around everything.
Yeah.
Yep, that's gonna be something you want to look at, probably like every season.
Okay. What am I checking it for?
Just to make sure it has no cracks or no gaps in it.
All right. If it does, then I need to have that redone.
Yep, I recommend people getting in like a tube at least, a white tube. That way, in case you have to use it, you have it right there and you can just spray it a little bit.
Okay. Let me
Yep.
just take a quick look at that. All right. So the white stuff around each thing, and then I could just spray new stuff on it.
Yep.
All right. Is that like expensive?
Usually caulk is probably about like $250 a tube around there. And then if you want to get it, if you get it on Amazon, I don't know what the difference is right there, but I'll show you a tube of it once you get all settled down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you a tube right here. Again. This is what our stuff looks like.
Okay.
So it just looks like that. Goes into a caulk gun. All you do is just
Spray
cut
it
the
around.
top and spray it around.
And what is it that does? It prevents leaks from getting in those
so
areas where it opens?
it's going to cover all the openings, like over the screws
Right.
from all the transitions and all the covers and vents. There's screws into it.
Okay.
So it covers it. It covers over the screws so it doesn't get corroded. Water doesn't get in through that way.
Right.
Just everything.
All right. So it just seals things.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Here, you have your outside kitchen.
Okay.
Outside shower, recommend, you get animals, you want to spray them off, kids, spray off their feet before they go inside. Neighbors that you don't like, you could spray them off too. This is just going to work just like a normal shower.
Okay.
Outside and cold side right there. Kind of basic. Plus you have a holder right here too. So if
Nice.
you want to just place it right there and leave it and put something, spray off something like a dish,
Right.
you could do it right there if you want to.
Okay.
Outside grill. You're gonna have a propane quick connect right under here. So if you don't want to use this grill and you want to use something else with propane,
Right.
there's a connect right under here, which all you have to do, pull this down, push it in, like that, pull it in,
Uh-huh.
and then turn it on, turn it over, and you have propane going to the
So
line.
turn it over.
Yep, so there's a little switch right here.
Gotcha.
So this will be off, and then this will be on.
Okay.
You always want to make sure if you don't have anything plugged into it, always make sure it's off.
Right.
And then pop it right off like that.
All right. So when I'm using the grill, then I need to plug it in, turn it on,
Yep.
and then the grill will work.
Yeah.
All right. And I guess it connects to the propane tanks in front.
So that goes from the propane tanks up front all the way over.
Okay. Got it. Makes sense.
And then the grill is just, you're gonna have your drip pan.
And then if I needed something else to connect to the propane, I could do
Yeah.
it right down there.
Yep. So if you wanted to like, if you have like, you know how they do the egg systems, or the smokers.
Yeah.
If you want to do it that way, you can hook it up right from there, place it there, and then hook it up
Right underneath.
right there.
All right. Makes sense.
Mini fridge, electric mini fridge. Kind of just, you're just gonna. It's cold right now. It's been running for a while. It gets very cold, very fast. So if you want to put like drinks back here, food, if you're having like the meat in there and then you're gonna cook it later, put it right there.
Okay.
Any questions on anything so far?
Nope.
All right, perfect. Another satellite and cable hookup right here.
Okay.
So if you want to,
Is that to bring the satellite and cable in, or in case I
so
have the TV out?
that's another hookup right there.
Okay.
So if you wanted to hook up, like say a TV right there, hook it up satellite right to the TV.
Okay.
Then you can have a whole tailgate out here if you really wanted to.
All right. So I'm trying to make sure I understand this. This is the camper my parents had never had this.
Okay.
So like, is this so like, let's say if I have a TV out here, like wherever it might be, like on a deck or
Yeah.
whatever, this gives me the cable?
Yeah.
Or is this
that's
so
gonna,
where I need
so
to?
you'll have your system right over there.
Right.
That's gonna be your main hookup spot.
Okay, that's where it comes in.
Yes.
And this is where it comes out.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
And then outlet to plug in your TV
Okay.
or anything else you need to plug in. Heater, lights, everything like that. Furnace exhaust. This is where when you have the furnace running, it's where all that heat's gonna come out of. I would make sure nothing is blocking in front of this.
Okay.
Because it will melt it. It
Gotcha.
does get very hot, very fast when you have the furnace on.
Good to know.
And we'll bring you around. Rear awning. It's gonna be the same thing as the front. I'm gonna tell you the exact same thing. So they go out a lot farther. We just didn't have enough room to bring it out. Anytime there's like wind storms coming
Yeah.
through, bring them in. Because if not, these will shift and it'll bend the arm, or it'll
Okay.
shift the fabric and it'll rip the fabric because there's a set screw in it.
Okay, so basically, like anytime there's a lot of wind, like that's really strong, I want to make sure
Yep.
that the awning comes in.
Yeah.
Now, what if I have like a screen house? Like if I build like a screen around it, around the whole thing?
John, have you seen that?
Don't do it.
No?
No, because they're not meant for the weight.
Okay.
And if it starts getting windy or anything like that, you gotta put these things in. They're not like some of the old style awnings where you can anchor them down and everything like that.
Right.
These are a sunshade. They're really not meant for heavy winds,
Okay.
real heavy rain or anything like that. You're gonna want to put them in.
So if I ever plan on doing a screen house and I don't want to use these, maybe I need another one?
You could. It's depending on whether or not you can actually lag them to the actual mainly this one because it's lagged to the slide out and stuff
Right.
like that. But I mean, it's possible. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's a good question. I've never gotten that one before, so
No
I
problem.
just learned something.
It's possible.
These awning arms do pinch too, so you can tilt them. So let's
Okay.
say you have water on them. I'll open it up a little bit more real quick.
Sure.
So I can show you. Open up the front awning up.
Oh. That's that one.
Yeah, if you talk to the manufacturers on the awnings, they're not meant for the weight of
Okay.
the slide outs and stuff like that, or the screen rooms.
Screen rooms. Okay.
So these pinch in, so if you have water on top of it and you want to tip it down a little bit, all they do is pinch like that and see it'll start to tip in. And that will
Okay.
hold too. So if you want to pinch it in and keep it pinched in, so that way water, you have it, it's raining and stuff, you have water on top of it, it
Right.
always comes right off.
So I pinch it in order to get the water to kind of drain down.
It'll tilt the awning. Or if you want to bring the awning down, you can tilt both sides at the same level.
Okay, so let me just see if, so I just push up here?
Oh, push right down to it.
Push down.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
You can see it starting to bend.
Uh-huh.
You can push it all the way down.
Usually easier when it's all the way up.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That way you're not.
How'd you get it to, oh, you didn't get, did you get it to stay or no?
Not on this side, just because we don't have it all the way out.
Right.
So there's so much force pushing it back.
Okay.
But they pinch in that way. You got water. Same with this one. The rear one does the same exact thing.
Gotcha. So now, in order to get it to do that, I need to like physically push it. I don't need, I can't do it from there.
No.
Okay, so it's, all right, so I just push, let me make
Yeah.
sure I got that.
Yeah.
Push this part all the way back in to get the top of the awning to kind of tilt downward and bring the rain down or water or whatever, and then let it come back up. Okay.
Alright. Then your awning lights. Party at night. Something. Go through here. This is going to be your only pass-through storage.
Okay.
So this is where you keep stuff that you want not inside the unit, but you also want to make sure that it's not anything valuable, because the lock for this is a key that everyone has mostly.
Gotcha.
So you want to make sure. No, I wouldn't put any valuables in there. Put them all inside the unit and lock it. And when you deadbolt it, if you leave anywhere, but put like let's say tubs, or like if you have your sewer hose stuff, which will bring you around, stuff like that.
Okay. Got it.
And these ones just come right down. They have a magnet, so if you don't have to latch it. So
Oh,
all you have
nice.
to do is put it up right there. I'll stay there. Comes right down. Opens right up.
Okay.
Bring it around. Automatic jack. When they bring this to the campsite, they'll set this for you, so you really don't have to use this as much. But in case of emergency, you do have to change the level on it. There's extend right here and retract. So that would bring the front of the camper from up and down.
Okay. Now, how do I know when it's level?
When it's level, there
Is there like a, cause you know, like, well,
usually we put like a leveler inside the front compartment, or right here on the A-frame, and then we move it up and down and check it. That's how we do our hitch equipments.
okay,
So if somebody's taking it and driving it somewhere, we have to level it anyways,
right.
and they'll level it for you, like I said. But I usually put a level there, and I'll check it, and I'll move it up and down.
Just like a regular one like you would use for anything else?
Yep.
All right, so you just put the leveler here?
Yep, right
then-
here, right laying across here.
Sorry, wait, do that one time, sorry.
Yep. Put the level like right here.
Uh-huh.
And then you can move it up and down, just keep checking it while you're doing it.
Okay. So this first one goes up, down. What's this one do?
So the on and off switch is just gonna be a light.
Gotcha.
So if you ever
So have to
end
do
up
it at
hooking
night.
up or coming out here at night and have to change it, you just flip the light on,
Gotcha.
shut it off in case you can't see.
Okay, and then the up and down movement changes this down here, right?
Yeah, it'll change this whole entire bar right here.
Okay.
So which will pitch the front of the camper up or down.
Got it. All right, so this is only for the front, going
Yep.
up or down, and making it like so that it's balanced and not tilting downward.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, or tilting upward.
Your two propane tanks are gonna be right under here. I'll take this off right now. If he doesn't have it. Okay. So these are both full right now. So
Now, how many gallons is this?
this is. It says it on the. Sean. Gallons on the propane tank. 30. Why am I forgetting? Gallons on the propane. On the propane.
Gallons?
Yeah.
Typically, it's 7.5 per tank.
Something like that.
About
thinking
14
like
and a half,
8.
15.
Do people usually like attach larger ones or no?
You can if you want to, but you got to get a whole different system.
Yeah.
Typically, like
regular will not.
yeah,
be
well,
able to-
not that. It's typically when you start getting into bigger tanks, their hookups are totally different.
Gotcha.
So, but it is possible. Yeah.
All right, so then this is just what I need to have refilled.
Yeah.
What do people do? Like, do they just take it apart and bring the tanks to a store or whatever?
I think Coldbrook has a fill station, don't they?
I don't know.
They might. They might. If not, we fill them right here and we're like,
Okay.
Yeah,
close
it's
to-
like you have a grill that has a propane tank on it.
At home, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that. If you run out, all you do
we'll
is
get it
just
filled
spray
up
it
and
and
stuff like that.
fill it
Okay.
up.
I mean, it always depends on how much you're camping and everything like that, as to what you're going to go through propane wise. Because typically 90% of stuff's going to work off of 110
Okay.
power. So unless it's cold, you may
Right.
use a furnace.
Okay.
Other than that, I mean, you could probably go a full season on both those tanks.
Good to know.
Then you ain't got to worry about having a delivery service
Yeah,
or
yeah.
anything like that, or trying to lift out 100-pound tanks and everything like that. So
Yeah, it's-
those are a lot lighter.
So, but like during the fall season, between September, October.
Yep.
That's probably when I'd use them most.
Possibly. I say this because I've been over there and there's been snow on the ground. I've been over there when it's 80 degrees. So
Right.
yeah, it always depends on your weather and stuff like that.
Okay. Good to know.
It's always tough telling.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially around here.
Yeah, because
waiting for this warm
Weather
weather.
Channel will say something and then it turns out to be something else.
Just ask these guys. I'm headed to Florida in a week, so
Yeah.
I'm ready for this
And
one.
I
Oh,
went
enjoy
I
that.
went to Florida in January and it was 30 degrees.
Sorry, just ignore him. I'm Rob. I'm the foreman.
How you doing?
I was just checking in on you guys. Nice to meet you.
Nice
What's
to
your
meet
name?
you. John.
John?
Yep.
Nice to meet you, John. If you got any questions, feel free to give me an ask. It's just checking on you guys real quick. All going well?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I'll be around if you need anything. And instead, I was just checking. See how
Thanks.
it's going. So.
Appreciate it.
So for the propane tanks, I do recommend only having it on one. Because you never want to have it in the middle.
Okay, wait, you said on one?
Yep, so see how this turns
Yeah.
right here? So this will change what propane tank the LP comes out of.
Gotcha. All right, so this is one and this is two.
Yep.
Okay.
You can always turn it either way. Some people do it middle, and I always recommend not to. Just because then you're having two of them
Working at the same time?
and you'll waste a lot more propane.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you always want to have it one, and then same with regular propane tank. You're close, and then on right now. If you want, bring that camera right around here and look at this. So there's
sure.
a little on this regulator right here. It'll tell you if the propane is good or not, and it'll have green.
Able to see it yet? There we go. Okay. There you go.
So it'll have green if the propane is good. If you're out of propane, it'll start to turn red,
Okay.
which you could just tell. If I close it, should start to change red right about now. Wait a second now.
Nope.
What is it taking on this one? Usually they change this. Usually, oh, there's probably still in the line. That's why. So let's say you're fully out. Should change to red. Have to look into that. Because it's supposed to change red. Once the propane's out,
Okay.
it'll tell you.
All right. Now,
If something goes wrong,
Okay.
propane tanks or the LP regulator starts to leak, it'll tell you.
So now to turn them on and off again. So when you're turning it that way, that's to tighten it, right?
So,
So it's righty.
yep,
wait,
righty
so-
tighty, lefty loosey.
Okay. So this way to tighten.
Yep,
That way. This also
yep. And then this way to loosen.
to loosen. Okay. So it tightens and the other way loosens. Okay. And to turn it on.
Yep, you'll have the on and off close right there. So open it. That'll open up the tank. so it'll be come out of it.
How do you know when to stop turning? Or is
Oh, you won't be able to turn anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, if
So
you
basically
want to
turn it
try
all the way to
right now-
open and all the way to close.
Yep. If you
Got
want
it.
to try it right now, yeah, you can't really turn it anymore. That's gonna turn it closed.
Right. All right, so now this will be completely closed, and then this will be completely open.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you're throwing an extreme amount of force into it,
Yeah.
you won't be getting that off at all.
Understood.
27 battery.
Okay. 27 battery?
Yep.
Okay.
We got it all bundled up right now, so it doesn't, the cover doesn't fly off. Right here is going to be your battery disconnect. So recommend always having it, turn it on if you are using the camper and you got it plugged in, or you need to jump onto the camper and you don't have it plugged in, you got to open it for a second. If you're not using the camper at all, I'd just turn it off because it's going to waste your battery.
Okay, so when I'm not there, I want to turn that off?
Yeah, so if you don't have it like plugged into the outlet, the 50 amp outlet,
Right.
it's going to be draining your battery if you have it on.
Okay, so only when it's not plugged in. But if I'm leaving it at the campsite and it's going to be on,
Yep, make sure it's on. And all it is just a little switch on and off.
okay, which one turns on, which one's off?
So this is on right now.
Right.
Okay. All you do is whip it right over.
Okay.
And you won't be able to turn that anymore when you know it's off.
And is this the solar battery?
This is the solar hookup right here.
Oh, in the
So
back.
that's your solar disconnect.
Okay.
So your solar is going to basically charge the battery when it's not plugged in. So
Right.
it's basically doing the same thing battery disconnect does when you're plugged in. So that's the same way. So right now it's on.
Because the reason why I asked is because if it's collecting solar energy,
Yep.
then even if that's on all the time, wouldn't the battery still charge?
Yeah, you're still charging either way. This is really good. The solar's not going to really do that much if you're plugged in anyways.
Right.
Because you're already charging the battery.
No, I mean
Yeah.
if I'm like not there,
Yes,
but it's not
yes,
plugged in.
True. Yeah.
Okay.
So your solar is going to charge your battery, especially if you have it open. If you're all covered up, your solar's not going to really get that much sun.
yeah.
But if you want to turn it off at any point, it's the same way. So right now it's on. You see the green right there.
Okay.
All you have to do is flip it down. That's
Okay.
off.
That turns it off.
Yep. You have 2 solar panels up there that
Okay.
are coming through. You have one on this side and one on the other side.
All right. So let me make sure I understand what you're saying. So
Yep.
basically, to turn the solar part on,
Yep, it's on.
It's already
right
on.
now. Yep.
I would
Turn it
just
off.
Oh, that's to turn it off. I just do this,
Yep. Twist it right off.
and that's it.
Yep.
Now to turn it on, so it faces kind of downward when it's off. To turn it on, like that.
Yep.
Okay. And then the other one, I'm sure I got that.
Yes.
This one right here. This. Okay, so this one right here. Right now it's on,
Yep.
and then to turn it off, I would go this way.
Flip it all the way around. Yep.
Okay, so that's off,
Yep.
and that's on.
Yeah,
Okay.
usually seasonal. You don't really have to. You're not gonna have to worry about this,
Yeah.
but it always is something good to know, just in case something does happen.
Okay. So let me just make sure I understand.
Yep.
If I'm not attached to shore power, and I leave it just so that and
And
it's still on.
the solar's on.
Right.
Okay. That's gonna charge your battery.
Okay. So the battery's probably not going to run dead.
No.
But let's say if it's like horrible conditions or whatever, or the thing is indoors or whatever, it's being stored somewhere, then I would want to turn off the battery, and I would want to turn off the solar.
Yeah. That way your battery's not draining.
Got it.
Your battery's not getting used. Might as well just turn it off.
Now when it's connected to shore power, do I still need the battery on?
Your battery is just going to be charging your battery. It's going to be charging your battery basically.
Okay.
So, I always keep it on just because some of the stuff will not run unless the battery is connected to it.
Okay.
Like we had to hook up the battery to get the slides out because the short cord doesn't do it as much for the 50 amp.
Right.
So it's not enough power, and so we had to have the battery on to bring up the slides.
Gotcha. All right, so then it's okay if the battery is like pretty
Yep.
much connected at all times,
Yep.
and it doesn't like ever collect too much energy.
And no, not that I've seen.
Like, is there
I-
ever a point in which I need to because it's too charged?
Let me ask my electrician. So the foreman that you just met.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that you want to ask the electrical
Okay.
stuff to.
Yeah, I know some stuff.
So he was asking. So is there a point where the battery is too overcharged?
If they will they overcharge? No, because the controller won't let it.
Okay, so
once
what I
it-
mean is like, because he was telling me like that if I'm not here and let's say it's not collecting solar energy or whatever, that it's a good idea to turn off the battery. So I was
Yeah.
wondering like, is there
Yeah.
ever a point at which the battery becomes too charged where I need to shut it off just to like,
Not necessarily. So the converter, which charges the battery when you're plugged in, and the solar controller both have like a limit switch.
Okay.
So when it senses that the battery is at 13.5 volts, it shuts off. So
Mm-hmm. Okay.
like your inverter or converter is always putting out 13.5, but the battery isn't always there. It's lower. You know what I mean? So resting voltage is 12. Charging voltage is 13.5. Once it sees that the battery is above 12, it usually will stop trying to like give it so much power.
gotcha.
Solar controller is the same way, which is actually right here. It does have another set of wires, so if you want to add a second controller or a second panel, you can. So all that good stuff is right there.
And this is where I go to him for this.
Understood. This is like new technology anyway. Like most
Oh,
trailers
yeah.
don't have.
Yeah. A lot of campers are coming with it prepped or with solar, and so it's definitely better for the consumer because your battery will last a lot longer if you're not plugged in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you. All right. Does the battery ever need to be like, locked down, like so that people don't just come and take it? What stops somebody from just walking up and taking?
Well, it all depends on the campground. So if you have a basic battery, chances are most people won't try to steal it.
Yeah.
But if you put in like a lithium battery, they're worth like $1,000.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, you might want to lock it down. Typically though, I haven't heard any horror stories about batteries getting stolen.
Okay.
It wouldn't hurt it to take it off during the winter. A fully charged battery won't freeze because of the acid inside of it and the electrons are moving around.
Right.
But if the battery's dead and you leave it outside, then it will freeze and the battery won't be good ever
Okay.
again. Typically, batteries last 4 to 5 years for the acid. You can get a better battery that's acid, that's like gel, or that has, they're called glass pack batteries, absorbed glass mat. They're just a better battery and they hold more capacity. So you could always upgrade to one of those.
Okay.
If you find yourself to where you're going to be camping without power quite a bit, I recommend adding a second battery or possibly getting a small generator. And we do sell those. We have regular gas generators that will plug directly into this.
Okay.
And we have propane and gas, so you can.
Now, are they loud?
No, they're 60 decibels. So they're actually super quiet. Have you ever seen the little Honda generators? They're like this wide and this tall. They're really quiet. They're briefcase looking.
Not really, but
All right. Well, anyway, so they're super quiet. At some state campgrounds, you're not allowed to have a generator because it's too noisy. I can tell you, we've had customers say that they ran those and people can't hear them. So they are super quiet, and again, they'll plug right into this. And we have small, medium, and large.
and what powers those generators? Is it just gasoline or?
You can use gasoline. So we have 2 generators that are just gasoline. One is really small. It's like this wide and this tall. It's for like a small camper. You can record it.
Yeah, sorry.
And we have a large one which is just gas, and it's got a remote control. So if you're inside, you just hit a button and it starts up. So and it's bigger. So it's 3,300 watt, and it'll run a good portion of this camper, if not the whole thing.
Nice.
The cool thing about them too is you can pull start them. They're electric start, so you can hit a button, or with the big one you can remote start. Now, the one that I preferably like, because I do all the electrical here, is they have a propane and a gas one. It does both. So you could hook it up to your propane tanks. Propane runs way cleaner, so you don't have to like put any special additive in the gas, or in a couple years you don't have to like clean out the carburetors or hire a mechanic. It runs smoother, it's much cleaner. and everybody has propane already hooked up to their camper.
Yeah.
So you just plug this thing in, you start it, and that's it. If you run out of propane, you just switch it over, pour gas in it, and now it runs on gas. So it does
Nice.
both.
And how much are those generators typically?
So they typically run $1,000 to about $1,300.
Yeah, okay.
So the $1,000 one is the small one is 900. The dual fuel one that does propane and gas is 1,000, and then the bigger one I think is like $1,200 or $1,300.
All right, that's good to know. So that's if people wanted to go like off the grid and like
Yep.
on the beach or something like that.
Yep, they have wheels on them, so you just pick up the handle and you can walk them.
Yeah.
They're small enough to where you can put them inside if you're not using them. And we do also sell a bumper attachment to where it bolts to the bumper and you can strap the generator right to it, and then you can lock it so no one can steal it.
Yeah.
And that way you never have to like move it around and stuff.
Wow.
It has a full diagram on it that tells you how to start it, how to shut it off, all that. And they also come with a lithium battery built into it, so you charge it at home. So when you get out there, you don't have to keep trying to pull start. You
Right.
just hit a button and it starts. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's good to know.
yep. And yeah, so again, if you're looking to go off grid quite a bit, or if you find yourself not being plugged in, I'd recommend that. That way you're saving money on buying a bunch of batteries and you don't have to make sure they're all charged all the time.
Yeah.
You just start this up and everything will work.
Okay. Because my wife had wanted to go to the beach, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
We're from Long Island, so she wanted to try camping out on the beach like at least once or twice. So
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
all right, so that's what we
So
need.
the other thing about the generator too is the bigger one especially, you can run the air conditioner. If you add batteries, then it won't matter. You can't use the air conditioner, but everything else will work. Like your stove, your hot water heater, your refrigerator, all that stuff will work. The only thing that doesn't work without the generator is the air conditioner and the microwave.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. So if you have any more questions, feel free to ask. I know a lot. I don't know it all. So.
That's his catchphrase.
Well, because I really don't.
Yeah. Well, you know more than me, so.
He's the electrical, and
Yeah, I know quite a
he
bit about
knows everything when it comes to that.
it. Yep.
So that's the perfect person to ask about that.
The only thing I can really recommend from my standpoint, because I thought of electrical, we have surge protectors that plug into the power cord to this.
Yep.
Right.
ours-
So
get that
yeah,
out there.
that right there is something you can only prevent yourself. And if you have that, then you're good. I've never had a customer come here and say, well, I had my surge protector plugged in and then something happened.
Right.
It's usually they're like, well, I didn't have them plugged in and we lost power when it came back on, stuff stopped working, or lightning hit, etc.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
So if you need anything else, I'll be walking around. Just feel free to stop me anytime, okay?
Appreciate it. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
So, right here is going to be your whole jack system.
Okay.
So, if you look underneath, you're going to have, this is going to be your front jacks. These are going to be stabilizers. Okay. You'll have the back ones that are just, which I'll show you when we go around, that are just going to be standing straight up.
Right.
These are all it is just stabilize the camper, make sure once you level it and it goes down so the camper doesn't move, people walking in it.
Okay.
Okay, so what these do basically, that levels it so that once so everything's like on
Once
the right plane,
everything's
right?
level,
Then you lower those to prevent it from moving at all.
Yep.
Okay. Without these, then if you were to like jump up and down or whatever in the camper, it would
Well,
start
it'll
moving.
go side to side. These are gonna stop it.
Okay.
So you got people running in and out of the camper. You're gonna go. The whole camper's gonna move a little bit.
Gotcha.
So to prevent that, the stabilizers has just basically everything just to make sure to prevent it. What they'll do too, and they bring it there, is they'll put blocks, little 2x4s, underneath the jack stands, like basically. So those round circle legs,
Yeah.
they'll put it under that. So that way, say it rains where you're at,
Right.
the ground's gonna be soft. Those stabilizers are gonna go into the ground. So you don't want that. So what they'll do is they'll put 2x4s underneath it.
Okay.
So it stops it from going and sinking under.
Gotcha.
Okay. So,
So-
how is that controlled? Is this done from inside or?
So this is just gonna be all the operations thing. This is basically telling you how to use it. I'll show you in a second. Also, it has a Bluetooth ID. So if
Okay.
you want to do it on your Bluetooth, the password and device name is going to be right here. All you
Okay.
got to do is download the app. And you can control it from there too.
Gotcha.
In here, where he just showed you that solar panel connection, there's the box that looks exactly like this.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Yep. All it is, if I turn it on, let me see real quick. Right there, you can go through everything. And if you want to give me a sec, I'll go in there and I'll show you and I'll drop that front.
Yeah.
Auto hinge, auto retract. So there's manual lever right here. So I have it set to that. All I hit is enter. And I'm gonna hit it. Now I'll start to move the bottom one, the front ones down.
Gotcha.
And I can do the same things with the rear. You can hear them. I can also pick which side I want. So if I want
Side by side.
right and left, I can move them simultaneously.
So does it move both the ones on the left, both the ones on the right?
Yeah.
I got you. So the top one moves the two in the front.
Yep.
The bottom one moves the two in the back.
Yep.
The left one moves just the left side, like both of them, both jacks on the left side.
Yep.
Okay,
And
and
the
the
other
right
one
and
does
same
the
thing.
right
Okay.
side.
Power button, got that. Now, how did you know what to set it to?
So if
I-
you go
I see it's on
down,
manual?
you'll be able to like look at this and play with it a little bit too. So I could change it. See those arrows right there?
Yeah.
You could change it, and I can go auto retract. There's an auto retract button.
What's auto retract?
So it's just gonna bring all the jacks up.
Oh, okay.
So besides your front one, the front one it will not touch, but the stabilizer jacks, it's gonna bring them all back up.
Okay.
Which, if you're going somewhere, you want to make sure they're all up
Got it.
the whole time. Unless you're like fully stopped to where you're gonna stay,
Yeah.
then you'll put the stabilizer jacks down.
Okay. Now, what about the auto level?
The auto level, so this is what that's what they'll do when they drop out the camper. They'll put it to the level that it is, and what the jacks are gonna do is they're gonna go back and forth. So I recommend people not being in it when it does it. 'Cause
Right.
It's gonna shake a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's the controller finding the perfect level for the camper.
All right, so now instead of me doing it manually, the auto
Yeah.
level just does it all for me.
Yeah. So auto level
Okay.
is
But
stabilizer.
if I feel like the
jacks.
auto level is not working, then I do the manual.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Like I said.
All right, so do I
it's-
just like hit it one time and it does it, or?
Yeah. All you have to do is.
So let me get that in there.
One time.
Hey, buddy, if your stairs are down, you might want to put them up. You hear me, Cody?
Yeah, I stopped it. Yeah. So right now the stairs, how they're set,
Yeah.
is all the way down. So if you have the stairs down, you have the stabilizer going to auto level. It could push it down, so those stairs will go up.
Right, so if the nose of the camper goes down and then you have the stairs already set like this,
Right.
then what happens is the front goes down, the stairs want to go up, and if the door is closed, then it'll push the stairs into the door. So you want to make sure that the stairs are always up when you're leveling. That way you don't accidentally ruin it. So
Okay.
it doesn't always happen, but on the safe
could.
side,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Gotcha. All right. So to set the auto level, all I have to do is just hit it once.
Yeah. Once you hit that button, it'll sometimes you have to push enter, which something that I've had it happen often, that you hit auto level and they'll say, are you sure? Or auto level all, and you hit enter on it.
What does retract do? That brings it back up.
Yep.
All sides.
Retract.
press and hold retract brings all sides up at the same time.
Got it. Okay, so auto level brings everything down, and it will figure it out itself. Retract brings everything back up, and then if the auto level doesn't work as soon as I push it, I would hit enter to go with it.
You
Or
can
just
hit
select it,
manual.
like-
So you can manually retract all jacks. Each side. So if you have to change the one side, you can. All you have to do is go through here. So see how it's changing?
I see auto hitch,
Yep.
auto retract all, auto rear. I don't know what that is. What is that? Sorry.
Auto retract rear.
Oh, that automatically brings up all the ones in the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be getting to the manual.
Manual level.
Yep. So that can manually level it. So all you would do is hit enter,
Uh-huh.
and you pick which one.
And then, okay.
That's how you move it manually.
Got
You
it.
can also manually retract them too. Should be on here.
Auto retract. Front. Wait, it's out of focus. Sorry. Front left. Front left. Or no, sorry. Rear LR 0.1.
Yeah, that'll tell you the
Manual
level
mode.
that it's at. The
Alright. It says manual mode now.
Yep. So that's when you hit enter. And you can retract each side.
Gotcha. So manual mode allows you to retract it.
Yep.
So that's the tongue jack.
Yeah, that's the first time I've done with that.
Yeah. So, and just so you know, also, it does show you right here the controls.
Okay.
And I believe that this one has a Bluetooth
It
setup.
does. Yeah. It's got the device name and the password as soon as you sign it.
Which is really cool because a lot of the older ones don't have that.
What does that do exactly? I know it connects to your phone or whatever, but what
Yep.
does that do? Does that
Well-
just show you like?
It shows you its level and you can control the legs. You can raise them up and down.
Gotcha. All right. So when it becomes level, then something goes off, or it just shows you okay, you know.
Yeah, it's so that instead of reaching your head in there and hitting the button, you can stand out here and just go boop.
Oh, okay. I got you. So I don't have to actually like. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And also, I mean, these are really what they're for is they are for leveling, but they're mostly for stability. So when you normally walk in this camper, the whole thing just shakes back and forth when you walk in it.
Right.
So when you have those down, it'll keep it stable so you can walk around and you're not, bouncing around or anything. Especially
Gotcha.
if you have like vertigo or if someone that you know does.
Yeah.
When they walk in, you don't want them like tipping over or, you don't want them to get kind of walking and get all wobbly. So.
Gotcha.
So yeah, typically in these campers you have to manually crank them by hand, whereas this one they're all electric and automatic. So
Okay.
it's all time.
Now, if the electric stopped working for some reason, could it be done manually? Like if it had to be?
If these do, yeah. So there's a little cap right here that comes out.
Right.
There's a nut inside, so you can turn it so that these will go up and down. It's going to take you a while.
Gotcha.
Because they're low geared, so it'll take some time. But chances are, these are really safe proof, so there's a good chance you'll never have to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
Yep. Now, if you're going off road and you're out in like the Catskills and you're hitting rocks and jumps and you're doing wheelies, then yeah, something might happen. But I have a good feeling that's probably not going to happen, you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just asking so I know, like if I'm ever in that situation.
Well, and if you are, you can always call us.
Yeah.
And we're in a RV Group 1. So let's say you're 100 miles away from here.
Mm-hmm.
We have not just Alpenhaus, but we're in a group with other RV dealerships
Yeah.
where they'll work on it. So
Okay.
it's all part of like a big RV show type thing.
Gotcha.
We got hundreds of them around the country. So yeah.
That's good to know.
Yep.
All right.
All that good stuff will be in your paperwork too, so that will be a reminder. So
Yeah.
yeah. But you can always call us too. Our service advisors are pretty good at troubleshooting. And if they can't figure it out, they usually come and get me, and I can explain it to you, and that way you're not stranded. So
All right.
yeah, simple as that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll let you guys continue.
Sure.
We'll go to the hot water here. So this is going to control all your hot water from the shower to both your sinks. Always tell people, it's also going to control like outside showers, like the one I brought you over there.
Right.
And this one too. I always tell people, do not turn it on unless you know it's full. So you know it's full if you pull this trigger and water starts coming out.
Okay.
So that means that the water is all the way at the top of the tank, and it's not gonna basically run on empty. I always check on it every time. I go, if I'm like, let's say I'm on something new, or I always just check it like every time I'm using the water for a while, just make sure it's full. But you're gonna be at Colebrook.
So how do I do this? I just pull this?
Yep. pull it. It's gonna be a little warm right now because it's on hot.
Gotcha.
This is electric and gas. So electric's running right now. Your gas propane, it's gonna click if you switch it over, and you'll see a blue flame that'll pop through. So right under here, take this off real quick. So right there,
Sorry, let me just get this straight.
that flame
Where
is
is it?
going to pop right in through. See right this hole?
Okay, yeah.
Yep. So
Okay.
that's where your flame's gonna be if you're on gas. So if you're
Gotcha.
on propane, that's where you're gonna have a blue flame that'll pop through. It's gonna click for a couple times trying to ignite, and then the flame will start.
Gotcha. Now, how does it switch between the two?
You'll have a switch inside.
Inside, okay.
Yep. You'll have a switch inside where you can switch from gas to
But
electric.
when it's on electric power, shore power, then it needs to be on electric. But if I'm off grid, then that's when I would need to make it propane.
That's when you'll use propane because you won't have any connection to plug it in.
Okay. Got it.
These things take about like 30 minutes to heat up. 30, 35 minutes.
So I don't really need to do much of anything here unless I'm checking to see if it's on
Yeah,
that type
if
of
you're on
power, or if I
propane,
need to
yep.
check to see if it's full.
Yep.
All right. So before I run the water, like let's say if I moved it, and I wanted to make sure that the water is where it needs to be at the level it needs to be, then that's when I check this. Because if I'm at Colebrook, I don't need to check this all the time.
If you got water hooked up to it,
Yeah.
you got water running, it's always gonna be full.
Okay.
So, unless you're like off grid or you emptied it, because you empty it by just taking a socket right there, and this turns.
Okay.
So it's on tight right now. All you have to do is take a socket and a wrench, and you can turn that and dump the whole entire tank. So if you want to
Okay.
empty for the winter time, you always want to make sure because you gotta get it winterized.
Yeah.
Or the lines could crack with water. We have to drain these, so that way we don't fill them with anything. All we do is drain them, so there's no water in there because it's metal, the whole outside, so
Right.
it could crack.
Okay. So in the wintertime, that's when you empty out that.
Yep.
And then from there, once that's drained, okay. So then, like when the new camp season starts,
Yep.
once I want to make sure that the water level's where it needs to be, I would just test it by pulling that.
Yep.
Okay, got it. So is that part of the whole winterizing process? I'm guessing.
Yeah, so the whole part of the winterizing process is all you do. We just dump that. We pull
Gotcha.
that out. It's a rod that heats up the water,
Right.
and all we do is pull that out, and all the water comes out, and then that's over.
Okay. Do people hook up a hose, or they just let the water just run out?
So basically, right now, if you look in here, so these two screws pop out. Okay, that's gonna bring you behind your water heater.
Okay.
So right now it's in non-bypass. So there's water. If you hook up water, you have water going to the hot water tank.
Okay.
There's a bypass mode where you can go behind it, and there's levers to turn, and that'll turn it into bypass mode, so you can hook up city water, but not have the hot water tank going.
Why would somebody do that?
Not really many people do. For winterizing purposes, we have to
Right.
bypass the water heater, so we don't have winterization going into the hot water heater and ruining it. So we have to bypass it then, but then we put it in non-bypass mode to put it back in regular mode. You won't have to do that, but if you have somebody else do winterization,
Right.
they'll have to move it for once, and then they'll end up moving it back, but sometimes if they forget, you always know just to check back there.
All right. So like, if I wanted to do the winterization myself,
Yep.
because my parents always used to do it themselves,
Okay.
how would I go about doing that? I would just pull this thing out, drain it.
Yep, you pull it out, drain it, and then all you do is come back here. And I don't know if your camera will get it, but if you look where I'm at right now,
I can kind of, I'm in there.
so there's the red and blue tubes that go back there.
Yeah, I think I see him.
Yep,
I see the blue
so
one.
on those, there's black levers.
Uh-huh.
All you do is turn them. So
Okay.
you turn them off like you're shutting off, like you're cutting off water or something.
Yeah.
Like a hose, and it'll make sure there's nothing that goes into the hot water tank.
Okay, so the whole point of it is just making sure that the water doesn't pass through.
Yep.
Okay, so you just turn them to make sure that it kind of cuts off the water supply.
Yep.
And then from there, that's it?
Yep.
and then you're just draining it out.
Yep.
All right. So is the point of those levers to? All right, let me make sure I get this right. Okay. The point of the levers is to make sure that water stops coming in.
Yeah. So nothing comes into the hot water tank.
Got it.
So right now, every time you hook up water to it, city water connection, which I'll show you in a second.
Yeah.
There's gonna be always water going to it.
Okay. But once you disconnect that water supply, why would you need to adjust those levers? Because if there's no water connected,
you're gonna have to pump winter band into the system. If you're winterizing it,
right?
you're gonna have to pump winter band to it, which that's.
And you don't want that to go into the hot water tank.
Yeah, which is gonna go through the water pump. So when you winterize it, you put the winter band through the water pump, which is going to that water pump is gonna push that winter band through the hot water heater. So that's
Okay.
the hot water heater's non-bypass mode.
Gotcha. Okay. So the idea is that you don't want that solution that you put in there to go into the water heater.
Yeah, no. It won't hurt it, but it definitely it takes a while to drain out. Yeah, and
Okay.
then you have to clean out your hot water heater. It's just it's a pain.
Okay.
So that's why we
wanna
never
avoid that.
have it through, because then you have to clean it out, and it's
All right.
a whole.
And how do I know which way to turn the levers? Like, is it the righty tighty, loose lefty loosey?
Yep.
Same thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll see it too, because it'll cut off. You'll see how it cuts off. It'll basically, it looks like it's actually like. So what's on now is allowing water to come in. You'll see it. It's like turning a lever and like shutting off like a whole water supply, like say an outside faucet.
Okay.
So like where you have your hose hook up, and if you have like the lever turns, how it opens it if you open it towards, and then close it if you're shutting off the water completely. It's like you're putting a blockade into it.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking is like if you're standing this way, right?
Yeah.
Like as if like you're facing that direction. I'm trying to figure out which way turns off, which way turns on.
Yeah, it's just gonna be one turn.
Uh huh.
It's like lefty loosey.
So it's just the
right.
opposite of
Yep.
okay. So left goes off, right on.
Yep.
Okay.
And there's videos too. Basically, most of them are the same.
Yeah.
Especially these. Basically, everyone has the same hot water heater,
Gotcha.
unless it's like older models. So it's gonna be basically the same. So if you have to look it up on YouTube, because winter's a long time from now.
Yeah.
So if you forget it, I usually tell people I look up everything on YouTube.
Okay.
That's my thing.
Yeah, I do as well.
I literally could build a house probably just off watching YouTube. But that's what I recommend.
All right.
Or call us and we can also tell you. Or some people tell people to do it from somebody professional for the first time and watch them do it,
Right.
and then do it yourself. I've had people do it from me. Like I've winterized their campers and they took notes or took videos of me doing it.
Yeah.
So they know how to do it next time. They
Okay.
can just do it themselves.
So my parents always used to do it, and like I've done it like maybe once or twice, but the camper was really old, so I wouldn't rely on remembering.
Yeah, and it could be a different hot water heater.
Okay. So I wish I was paying more attention as a kid.
Yeah. Hey, trust me, I'm the same way.
So let me ask you about how long does the winterization process take?
Probably about. It's basically, so I'd say how long it takes for the pink to go through the lines, because you have to get bypass the water heater, right in the hot water heater.
Okay.
They take that and then your water pump, which is going to be right on this side too. If you open this up,
Right.
your water pump's going to be right under here. Mm-hmm. You have to hook up your water pump to your winter bin.
Okay.
Then you have to turn your water pump on.
What's the winter bin?
The winter band is what goes into the lines. Let me see if see if I have a bucket so I could show you. I think this still has the logo on it. So we sell it inside. It's basically antifreeze gel. So this is what you're gonna pump into the water pump.
Okay.
And then that's gonna go through the lines, and you have to turn on.
So is there
all
like a
your-
hose or something that connects to that, or?
This one, usually there is.
Okay.
There's also times where you need a hose to hook up to it. But I believe this one has one that's just quick connect. So all you have to do is turn another lever,
Right.
And it'll pump through that hose.
Okay.
Which then you go inside. You gotta turn on all your faucets. You gotta make sure that pink from this is going through the lines and going into the drains.
Okay. And I'll know that when I turn on one of the faucets inside, it should something
Yep,
pink
and
should come out.
you'll see a clear pink coming
Okay.
out of those lines. You want to make sure you fill the P-trap, which is the little elbow that's underneath.
Right.
Just so they have winter band in them. It does it gets like slushy at times, but it never like fully freezes and it won't expand,
Okay.
which is what water will do in these lines.
Got
They'll
it.
expand and then they'll crack and then you have leaks. And then after that, I usually go into the freshwater tank, which I'll show you, and I pull that lever and I drain that too.
Okay.
So you want to make sure there's no water in the system at all.
All right. So I drain the hot water. Then
Yep.
there's a fresh water tank.
Yep,
And then
those are
that's
the two
basically-
you're gonna drain.
Okay. Got it.
You want to raise the jacks up in the front just so that you guys don't take it off with it downward.
Yeah, it's going to Coldbrook, so it's staying here
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
for right now. But yeah, no, I'll do that. Yep. This is where your water hookup's gonna be.
Okay.
You have your another outside shower.
This is where the water
Spray
comes in.
somebody. Yep, this is where you're gonna hook up your water to.
Okay.
So, black tank flush. This is in case you want to sanitize your black tank, or the black tank's not reading right on the monitor. When I bring you in and show you it, I'll show you everything.
Now, what is a black tank? What is it? What's the difference between?
Black tank, gray tank.
Yeah.
Black tank's gonna be your toilet.
Got it.
It's gonna be where all your sewer goes to.
That's all the stuff you don't want to drink.
Yes. Yes. Your gray tank is gonna be your sinks, your shower, and that's it.
Okay. And which one goes into the freshwater tank?
The fresh water tank is if you're dry camping. So if you're not plugged in,
Right.
you're gonna want to fill up your fresh water tank, and
Okay.
that's gonna be where you hit the water pump,
Uh-huh.
and they'll pump all the fresh water into
Right.
the line.
Gotcha. All right. So that's the third one. So like
Yep.
at Coldbrook, I probably won't need the freshwater tank.
No, if you're hooked up to water, you won't need the fresh water tank.
Okay. But when I'm off grid or
Yep.
whatever, okay. So then I would have to fill up the freshwater tank first,
Yep.
and then I have to I need to eventually dump out the black water.
The black water, yeah. This is like in case you want to clean out your black water.
Okay.
So if your tank's not reading, like sometimes toilet paper gets stuck on the sensors.
Right.
So you don't know if your black tank's full or not.
Okay.
So you just hook up water right there, and it'll flush out the whole entire black tank.
Okay. Now, how often does that need to be done? Like if
I
I'm
recommend it every probably like a month and a half,
month and a half. Okay.
just because I'm the sanitized guy. So it's like
Yeah.
I like to make sure like, and it's not sitting there for a while, even though you're still flushing it.
Uh huh.
Plus, I don't like sensors are a pain sometimes
Yeah.
to deal with. So I like to make sure and tell people do it. I recommend it every month and a half. That way you know you're getting
Okay.
your tanks are reading right.
All right. So now this is connecting to your water.
Yeah, this is just gonna be like another outside shower, just like we had over on the other side. This
Alright.
just sprays a lot farther. So you can hook up a shower head to this
Okay.
and use it that way. And to take this off,
Oh, okay. I get it.
yeah. So let me see if I can put this stuff down. Take this off. All it does is turns.
Mm-hmm.
So these two little catches right here,
Right.
they're gonna go in just like to line them up.
Oh, so it's just another hose.
Yep.
Okay. So if I wanted to wash the camper or something like that, I could use that.
I don't know if you're gonna be able to hook it up to wash the camper,
Okay.
but if you're gonna, like I said, spray anybody with it or spray off anything, like if you wanted to spray off, you had dirt in your hot water here, or mud, or something,
Right.
you could spray it off that way. But this probably won't get enough water pressure, or
Because you said it sprays farther.
distance. This sprays farther than that one,
Okay.
but it won't be enough to wash the whole camper.
Gotcha. Okay.
This is just basically like another outside shower, more higher pressure.
Okay. Now, but how would I? Okay, so these two control. I guess this is hot and cold,
Yep.
and this controls what comes out of here.
Yep.
But how is the black water flushed out.
It's right here. So you hook up
Okay,
your
so
hose
it's not-
right underneath it.
Okay, so then let me see this thing here. So it goes like some kind of hose goes into here.
It's just a regular hose. You could just take a regular garden hose,
Right.
and hook it up right there, and then run water, and it goes right
Gotcha.
into the black tank.
Gotcha. Okay. And this one?
That one is just a vent. So
Uh-huh.
if, let's say, water's getting over pushed, it'll come out of this. It won't like. This is just for your city tank and fresh tank. So say you. This is for right here. Your fresh water is on
Okay.
here. Okay. So your fresh water's full. It'll start to ooze water out. Fresh water's not. It's not gonna do anything. So here is, you can see right here, your city connection is down right now where it is,
All right.
you
So
want-
if I want to connect to city water,
which is
I
gonna
would
be
lift
your-
this up, and then when it's full, it'll start coming out of here. That's how I'll know it's full.
Nope. So your city water is always gonna be running. It's gonna be more for your fresh tank. So if your fresh tank is full, so this is on tank fill, which is fresh tank.
Okay.
So if it's flipped up like this, how it is now, and you hook up right here, you're gonna be filling your fresh tank.
Gotcha. The fresh tank is the one that you said
It's
is
gonna
if
be
you're
for
off the
dry
grid.
camping. Yep.
Right. Okay. So if I need to fill that, I do that by putting water through here,
Yep. And
and then
flip this
flip
lever.
this up to tank fill.
Yep. That's gonna fill up the fresh tank.
Gotcha. And if that ever gets too full, it'll come out of that one right over
Yep.
there. So that's basically a vent just to leak it out if it can't handle anymore. But normally when I'm connected to shore power or to the
Yep.
Colebrook stuff, I would
You're
be in
gonna-
city, and then it would
Go down like that.
okay. And then what takes in that water? Is that also
Yep.
from here?
Same way.
Okay. So both fresh water and city water come in through here.
Yep.
But if I wanted to go to the tank for fresh water, then I would flip this up,
And you still connect here.
right, and then it will vent out through here if it gets too full. But city water will never do that.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
You'll always have city water running.
Sure, I can see that. Okay, got it. All right, I got it.
That's the way to do it right there, is record it as you go. That
Yeah.
way you know.
Hey man, do I know you?
I think so.
This looks really familiar. Okay.
It was him.
So we move down here. Under here, you have two gray tanks, and a black tank. So if you look under,
All right.
you're gonna have your black tank right here.
I can barely see.
Let's see if I have my phone too. I'm trying to flashlight. That a little better?
I mean, I can't really see. I don't see a tank.
So your tank is under here.
Oh, it's under there. Okay.
Yep.
That's why I don't see
And
it.
it goes out to here. So that's where all that water is gonna come out of.
Gotcha. All right. That's for the fresh water?
Nope, this is for your black and gray.
Black and gray.
Yep.
All right. So this hooks up to something at the park?
Yeah, this you'll hook up a sewer hose, which will basically roll over on this, just like get under real quick. So basically, this is your cover right here. So the sewer hose is gonna connect just like this. So it's gonna go over onto here and then flip over these little beams right here.
Okay.
So these beams right here is what's gonna
Hold
lock
in
it
place.
in.
All right.
And that's where and then you'll hook up the other side. They'll have a hookup for you to basically a drainage point. So you'll hook it up here, and then the other side will be hooked up to the drain. And once you pull the levers, when they get full, tanks get full, all of that's gonna go straight down to the drain.
All right, I'm trying to make sure I get this. Okay, so that's okay. This is where the black water, like sewage and all that, comes from.
Yep.
All right, so this hooks up to their sewage system.
Yep.
So that whenever we flush the toilet, whatever, it comes out of here down. Got it. Now, how is this flushed out? Like when you want to clean it?
you do it the same way. That's where that black tank flush comes from.
I'm not even getting it.
So, if you want to flush out the black tank, right?
Right.
Sanitize it.
Right.
You're gonna hook it up the water that same spot I just showed you. Okay. So you're gonna want to hook up your water hose right to here.
Okay.
That's gonna push all the dirt that's stuck in the black tank through, and it's gonna come out there.
Gotcha. All right. So when I put it in to that to this one right here,
Yep.
then the water rushes in through there,
Yep.
and it will push out and come down here.
Yep. Right out of that tube.
Okay. Got it. Okay. And then, but normally, whenever we have it hooked up to their system, I would connect whatever sewage system is they have to here.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a sewer hose.
Right.
So all it is just a tube that stretches kind of like a slinky,
Right.
and it goes over that, and it'll connect to their drain system.
Okay.
So all it is just all that stuff that's coming out of here, instead of going on the ground and going everywhere that
Right.
you can see it, it's gonna go straight through that tube into their drain.
Okay. Got it. Makes sense.
All right.
Yep.
Your levers are gonna be right under here.
Sorry, let me get that again. Now, what are these levers for?
So these are gonna be your tank levers. So you'll have your gray and your black.
Okay, which one is which?
This one is gonna be black.
Uh-huh.
Both black. Tighten that too. So this is gonna be your black right here. You can be able to tell by the way this says. So the black tank's gonna be the closest one over.
Okay.
So you know that's the one that's all the way at the end.
All the way at the end, and then
Yep, right here.
got it.
So you pull this down.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to pull it right now because I don't know if there's plenty of water in there, so we don't want to get soaked.
Yeah.
All you do is just pull it down to open it,
Uh-huh.
and then push it in to close it.
Okay.
All right.
And then this one is the
tank.
gray one.
Yep. So
Although-
right up here, and then you can just do the same thing. You open it, pull it,
Uh-huh.
close it, push it in.
It's funny though. Are they the same color? I'm just looking to see if one is black and
Yeah,
one's gray.
that's what I was weirded out by. Is that the same color? Sean.
That one actually kind of does look gray, unless that's just the light.
I think it's black from what I see. That's why I was like. That's why I stopped for a second because I was like.
Yeah.
Sean. They both black tank valves. Are they both
Same color.
The same color for the black tank and gray tank?
What do you mean?
They're both black.
I was trying to figure out if like one is gray, one's
Yeah.
the handles.
Oh, I mean, typically, yeah, they don't.
Well,
label
usually
them or anything like that.
that's why I was like confused on that one because I went under there and I was like,
Gotcha, I know what you mean. I mean, they don't always put a gray handle and they don't always put a black handle on it.
That's what I thought. Okay. It's good to know. All right, so I just pull those in order to drain it.
yep. So that'll push all the tank, all the water and all the sewage from the black tank
Right.
and the gray tank through them. I usually tell people if they're dumping it,
Right.
do the black tank first and then do the gray tank because
black
that'll
goes to the
basically push all the gray tank is not going to have sewage in it.
Okay.
Just basically have it's like gray water.
Okay.
So
and they all
it's-
come through the same
Yep, they all come through the same tube.
tube. Okay. Which is
So you don't have to
right
hook up two hoses. So you can
here.
only just have that one hookup and not have to worry about moving hose.
All right. Now I'm just trying to figure out when would I need to pull those levers. Like, so I have. Let's say I'm on the beach or something, right? I've hooked up my hose to that
Tank flush?
to that tank, right?
Yep.
And now I'm like pumping water through it, and it's supposed to come out through there. So do I need to pull the levers in order to make that happen, or?
Yeah, so they'll open up the. If you leave them closed, all it is just going to fill water in the tanks. All it is just going to fill more water in the tanks, and it'll end up coming out of the drains from inside because you're filling it all the way to the top.
Gotcha. Okay, so those levers have to be pulled.
Yeah, so if you're putting water through it,
Right.
I
Make sure the
recommend
levers-
you open up the valves.
Okay. Should I open the valves first?
You can, yeah, you can, or if you want to fill it up, if it's not all the way full, the tanks aren't all the way full, you can fill it up just a little bit and then pull them.
Okay.
That way it kind of mixes up the water. But yes, make sure your tank valves are open
Okay.
when
So
you
don't-
flush it.
All right. So when I hook up a hose to that and that
Yep.
water's going through,
Yep.
I want to as quickly as I can come over, or I can let it fill a little bit if it wasn't full already.
Yes.
But generally, I want to pull those valves
Yeah.
and make sure that the stuff starts coming out.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Just because if not, it's gonna come out of the sinks.
Yeah.
And I've seen it come out of the toilet, and it's not good. And then your whole
Right.
entire camper's flooded, and it's not a good. It's awful scene. It's like a war zone in there.
Gotcha.
But yeah, always make sure they're open. And you'll know when to dump the tanks. If you don't already have it open enough, like if you're gone somewhere,
Right.
or you're not hooked up to a sewer connection, you'll know is when we go in there, show you the monitor panel, and it'll show you how full the tanks are.
Okay.
So it'll show you gray 25, black 75, let's say.
Right.
And that means gotta dump the black tank soon.
Okay. Now I only need to dump the black tank when I'm offshore, right? If I'm connected to Colebrook system.
If you're always mostly gonna want to have the valve open. If you're at Colebrook system, you're
Right.
if you're gonna be hooked up to a system already, to a drainage system,
Yeah.
right when you park,
Yeah.
I would just leave it open.
Just leave it open. Okay.
That
But,
way you know that you're not
okay.
filling up the tank.
But if I'm moving it, that's when I want to make sure those valves are closed.
yes,
Okay. All right. So I push them in when I'm moving, going somewhere, open them when I'm connected to a shore system.
Yep.
And then if I'm pushing water in to clear out the black tank or the gray tank,
Yep.
then I want to make sure that it's open.
yep.
Okay.
Open the valves.
Got it.
All right. Any questions?
Nope. I got it.
All right. So, ready to go inside?
Yeah. Do I need anything else out here?
No, these are gonna be the same slide out things. So when I told you about the slide out seals,
Yep.
the slide out mechanism, it's gonna be the
Same
same thing I told you over there.
All right. Got it. And that was it for winterizing. Also, just basically dump the tanks.
Yep.
Clear out the
Dump
black
fresh
tank. Yeah. Put the antifreeze, or the what'd you call it again? The
winter bin.
Winter bin. Yeah.
Yep. Through the pump.
And that's all
pump it
winterizing
through.
is.
Yep.
Because my parents made it seem like this is like this long, drawn out process that took way longer than that. That's it.
Yeah. We there's times that we do it out we have to do it out in the lot because we have to have our own pump system.
Yeah.
We end up doing it in the lot because we can't bring everything over here.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically.
All right.
Dump the hot water tank, turn the bypass on, dump the fresh water tank, take your water pump, connect it to your winter band,
Right.
turn the water pump on, and then pump all the water through the drains.
So that could just take like an hour or so, depending on how long it takes.
That's basically what we charge 0.75, like so about like 45 minutes to do it.
Okay.
But we've also been doing it for
Yeah. See, for you guys, it's pretty quick.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
for us, it's pretty easy. We'll run,
You got your clipboard here if you need it.
oh, yep. Basically, it's just something I'm gonna have you sign after. That way,
That we went through everything.
Yeah, we went through everything.
Okay.
Make sure I'm not missing anything. Under here. You should be good.
Should I pull up the? I just want to practice. I guess. Can I pull up
fresh
the?
water drain. That's what I need to show you.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right here. So it's a little hard spot, but this blue tube right here.
Yeah. Okay. See it.
So it's on, it's off right now. So no water should be coming out. Turn it on, all that fresh water is going to drown out. So
Got it.
when you do your winterization, that's what you're going to drain.
Okay. So I need to drain the fresh water also.
Yep. So remember how I told you, hot water heater,
Right.
fresh water tank. Those are the two you're going to drain out. So there's no water in it.
All right. So I just turn the knob to drain the fresh water.
Yep.
But at Colebrook, will I have to drain the fresh water? Will there be any in there?
You can decide when we get done if you want fresh water in the tank
Okay.
or not. Remember, so fresh water is going to be for your dry camping,
Right.
which you're going to want to, if it's empty, you're going to want to fill by flipping this over.
Got it. Okay.
Okay?
But at Colebrook, I'm not going to need that.
Colebrook, you're not going to need.
Okay. And then the hot water, I drain that by pulling this out.
Yep. So
just letting
you
that go
grab
down.
a socket and a wrench, and all you do is just turn it, and it'll come right off.
Right.
And it's a rod. It's about like this big. Okay. It's gonna be hot, so if it's
Gloves.
been running, yeah, I'd wear gloves. It's
Okay.
gonna get hot, and what you're gonna do is just take that out, or you don't even have to take it out fully. If you undo it
Yeah.
and just pull it out just a little bit,
Yeah.
that water's still gonna all drain out.
Okay. Got it. All right.
All right. I usually, if you're doing the winterization and you're not gonna be going back into it until winter, I usually keep it out so that way, just in case there is any water left in it,
Right.
it's gonna be drained out by the time it freezes.
Okay.
That's basically it for outside. Any
All right.
other
So then-
questions you need?
Nope. I'm gonna